have that tendency inside of us that if we don't deal with it, it will begin to overtake us.
Come on.
This word returneth. Now, you heard returneth 2 times in that scripture. And this is why it's important to study, because the 2 returneths have 2 different meanings.
Come on.
This returneth right here means not necessarily going back to the starting point that represents your bondage. You know how sometimes we look at going back and we say, well, I didn't go back to being in a relationship with them.
Uh-huh.
This returneth is not talking about that.
Right. Come on.
This returneth is talking about going back to the mindset. It's all in that mind. It's that psyche. Going back to the mindset that had you in that relationship anyway.
Right.
That's what this returneth is talking about. All right? But it also says to be used adverbally. Now, anybody knows anything about verbs and adverbs? Your adverbs add to your verb.
Right.
So basically what it's saying is, when you return, you're returning worse than you did when you first were there, which is a spiritual principle anyway. Come on, we're going to move on. Say it with me, new rules.
New rules.
We're going to get past this vomit. Say it, I'm going to get past my vomit.
I'm going to get past my
Say, I'm going to
vomit.
get past my vomit.
I'm going to get past my vomit.
As we said earlier, the vomit represents fragments of your past that you don't want to let go. Fragmented pieces of it. It's not a whole, it's not all the way together. It's fragmented. But it represents that. It represents that comfort zone. And God is trying to pull and stretch us somewhere. But while he's trying to pull and stretch us, we're trying to carry. Hold on, God. Hold on. Hold on. I got to take all this with me, God. And he said, no, you can't bring all that with you. If that's what you're going to do, then you might as well just go. You can't serve 2 masters. You're going to love one and hate the other. And I'm going to tell you one thing about God. God understands his value. So he's not going to chase you with something that's going to bless you. He's going to wait until you're ready to chase him. Let's look at this word fool. It talks about being, the stupid. We talked about all that. But guess what else it says? Arrogant one.
Oh. Yeah.
Arrogance.
Yeah.
And some of us say, I'm not arrogant. There is a passive side of arrogance that sometimes is disguised as humility to the naked eye. I use myself again, Elder Core. One time, somebody came up to my apostle, and I was his armor bearer for years. Right. They said, your armor bearer is so humble. He said, no, he's not. He said, he's silently rebellious. He's silently a foolish individual. That's basically what he was saying. He silently doesn't appreciate what's being offered to him.
Wow.
Now, I didn't always say that. I didn't, because I was called the brown noser, I was called the apostle's pick, I was called all those different things, because once I got it, I got it, and I ran with it.
Right.
And I refused to look back. Same thing we need to do today. All right? Let's move on. Let's look at the second word, return. The second word, return. Here's what this word, return, means. It is a primitive root. It means to fold. Now this is the part that gets a little sneaky, Lady Nika. Because this is where you start to disguise and hide your stuff. Because this returnative talks about to transmute, which means to transform. Or to disguise yourself in a manner that nobody recognizes that it's you.
I like that.
That's what it says about the fool that returns to his vomit. We no longer look like what God has said we are, or what has been prophesied to us. Now we revert back to what we once were. So if you were a whore, that's what you disguise yourself as.
Wow.
If you were a liar, that's what you disguise yourself as. If you were an alcoholic, that's what you disguise yourself as. You start to look like what you once were, so that nobody can recognize when you go back. All right, let's keep going. Folly. Now, here's something else that has to change. We play more than we take things serious. And sometimes the blame is an insecurity that we won't verbally admit.
That's
But the
me.
reality is, to God that stinks.
Right.
It's disrespectful to
Help
Him.
us, Lord.
Especially at times of impartation, in times when He is taking the time to pull us somewhere. If we're playing all the time, one of the things that He told me was, some people are still stuck on having recess. I remember when we switched over at Sussex Central, the greatest high school that was ever created. We switched over from junior high to middle school.
Yes.
We were the first middle school class. One of the greatest awakenings to me, evangelist, was when I got to 6th grade and I'm trying to figure out what time is recess.
Right. Yes.
What time is recess? Like, okay, we done did all these classes are longer now.
Right.
The books are bigger now. What time is recess? And the thing was, some of us, we did the block schedule in the beginning, so we didn't have gym all year long.
Right.
So now, okay, so when do I get to play?
Right.
When is recess? And that's the mindset some of us have with ministry as well.
Preach in here.
We still want to be at
Recess.
the elementary stage. Matter of fact, be honest with us, some of us still want to be in kindergarten when we got the snacks. Now you know you get snacks all through school. But you remember in kindergarten you used to get the little milk carton and that different stuff. Some of us still want to be there. We don't want the pastor to give us meat.
No.
Give me a snack. Give me a snack and then send me,
Preach,
give me a snack.
Come on, Apostle.
Let me lay down and take a nap.
Take a nap.
And then I
Lord.
want to go to recess.
Yeah.
That's our mindset concerning ministry. So when we have a long day like this, or last night and today, we don't have the stamina to handle it. We don't have that stamina. You know why we don't have the stamina? Because we're not preparing for it. Because some of us, I'll be honest, if overseer had sent out the text about the classes on today, we would have forgot.
Right.
Or we would have made other plans, forgetting that it was supposed to be convocation anyway. Why? Because we want that snack, we want that nap, and then we want to go to recess.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe we want recess before snack. And then after that, we want to be dismissed to go home. Because we're tired.
Right.
We're tired again now. Now I want to go home and play. I
That's
want to change my clothes,
not gonna sleep.
and I want to play. I want to change my clothes, and I want to play.
Right.
Now, let me hit the change of clothes. I want to change my clothes
Come on.
and play.
Play.
What do you mean by change my clothes?